and wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Sometimes in life we look for rhythm and consistency. But sometimes life just needs disrupting. Welcome into your weekly Disrupt with Mike Smith, founder of The Bay. Join Mike and his local disruptor each week as they surprise people who shape their journey with a phone call. Disrupting your drive time on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is Mike Smith.
What up, what up? What up, what up? Welcome, everybody. Welcome in. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Mike Smith, and we are live in the studio with Cade Moran, and we are talking about all things Disrupt this week. Austin, how you doing?
Great, Mike. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, brother. We've got an awesome guest in the studio today. We've got an awesome show lined up for you. I'll explain the premise of this show. From 5 to 6 p.m. every Tuesday, we are making surprise phone calls, talking to the people who were disruptive in our lives, from coaches to teammates to maybe it was that rival that you had that you're now friends with, or someone who pushed you and helped you get there. And so today we're in the studio talking with Cade Moran from the track team. Cade, what's going on, bro?
What's up? What's up? Excited to be here.
We're stoked to have you. Cade, so will you give everybody just a quick background, where you're from, how you ended up being a Husker, your whole kind of quick story?
Yep. So my name's Cade. From Southern California. I'm a senior here at the University of Nebraska. Throwing shot put in the discus. Started around when I was a freshman in high school. Started a little late compared to normal people, but found my way. Actually ended up at the University of Michigan my freshman year.
Okay.
Didn't have the greatest year. Was like, man, I think there's something a little better out there for me. Then entered the transfer portal, and then this great opportunity come up to Lincoln, Nebraska. Really never heard of it growing up, actually. So I was like, man, this place is great. Came on my visit, and I was like, man, this might be the greatest place on earth. So then I was like, how could I say no to this place? So came on over here and been here for my third year here in Lincoln, and it's been the best 3 years of my life.
You love it. And you're from California, Southern California.
Yep, Southern California, Marietta, California.
Kind of cool. So if you don't know where Marietta is, think like San Diego-ish,
Yep.
right? That
Yep.
gets them close. Get you close enough. The transfer portal. I think we hear a lot about it.
Yep.
What does it mean to I entered the transfer portal? Talk a little bit about the process. Do you just like send an email and you're like, I'm in the portal, or like, how does that work?
Yeah. So actually, you can do it a couple different ways. But yeah, you pretty much talk to compliance at the school you're at, and you say, hey, like, I want to enter the transfer portal. And then they're like, are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yes, I'm sure I want to do this. And then the next part is you usually tell your coaches. The scary thing is nowadays is you really don't have to say anything to anybody. You can just enter the transfer portal and leave. But usually you want to go talk to your coach and be like, hey, I'm going to enter the transfer portal. I think there's something better out there for me, or not working out here for me. You pretty much compliance, and then they throw you in there. And I entered the transfer portal like the morning. I emailed compliance, and that evening I was receiving text messages and emails from some other coaches. So it works quick.
Wow.
And it's crazy to think, but like coaches, even talking to our head coach, he's looking in the transfer, when the transfer window is open, he's looking in the transfer portal all day, every day, pretty much. And they're active in the portal.
They're in it. Is it like, I feel like it's almost like a dating app where you're like looking at it and swiping and trying to find, is that what it's like?
Yeah, it pretty much is a dating app. You enter it, and then you're like, all right, what people like me, I can reach out, they can reach out to me, see what's work. We get in the talks, and then you can take your visits if you want to take your visits. And then, yeah, it's crazy, and it works quick. I was probably in the transfer portal for maybe a month before I took like 4 visits, and I was like, all right, I know where I'm going.
And Nebraska felt like the right fit.
Yeah, it was easy. It was an easy pick.
I love that. Love to hear it. We love to hear it. And so you have a cool role at the university when it comes to student leadership. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm the vice president of our student athlete advisory committee, SAC, which I get to be a representative for the student athletes on campus from between us and an administrator, just kind of the middleman between the student athlete body and the administration. And being a vice president, I also got voted as a vice president, which was really cool. But I get to go on super cool either leadership retreats. So like this last summer, I went on a leadership retreat to the Big Ten headquarters in Chicago.
Yep.
Saw some amazing people speak, learned a ton just about from other athletes at other schools and these people that came and talked to us, which was great. And then this next month, I'm going to be able to go back to another leadership retreat at the Big Ten headquarters. 2 of our athletes, they'll send 2 athletes from each school to go up there and just kind of meet other SAC representatives and just kind of talk about like, how do we make our school better?
Love it.
And what is working well for us, what's not working well for us, and how do we learn from other schools that do things well, which is really cool. And then just being able to talk to our athletic director, Troy Dannon. He invites us over to our house once a year, talking with him, and how do we make the student athlete lives better? And the cool thing is my job is pretty easy as a vice president because the lives here it's already really, really good. But I mean, there's always little things that you can work on. But
sure.
But we have a pretty good life here in Nebraska as a student athlete.
Well, you heard it out there. If you're an athlete looking for a place to go, if you're in the transfer portal trying to get picked up, swipe right on the University of Nebraska. We're out there taking folks out of the transfer portal. And so leadership, we talked a little bit about this. Leadership is something that goes way back for you.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So leadership been in my life my entire life. So my mom was actually an athletic director at a high school, probably since I was, I think, about 5.
Wow.
Somewhere around there. But I remember growing up in the ASB room of the high school that I ended up going to. My mom was athletic activities director there for about 10 years. So all things leadership was my life. In middle school, I was on the student council. In high school, I was part of student council and doing all that stuff. And now in college, I'm on the athletic advisory committee. So lots of leadership. That's my life. And I do love it.
Awesome.
It's something that my mom has engraved in me of like giving back to people and being somebody that people can talk to and go to for help, advice. Maybe I don't know the answers, but I can find the answers. But love being that. I love doing it.
That's great. That putting yourself in those positions to grow as a leader and to lead your teammates opens up so many other doors for you for opportunities that end up becoming life-changing and altering down the road. I got a cool chance to speak at the Big Ten headquarters to all of the life skills, like the Stacys and the Keiths of the world, the folks who work with our athletes and work in the athletic department to help them figure out what they're going to do while they're here, and then also after sports. And then I got a chance to speak at the NCAA headquarters and met a ton of athletes just like you who are fired up, passionate about leadership, really eager to make a difference and make a change. And so I think, almost everybody's like, okay, I'm going pro. That's it. Like I'm here. I'm a Division I athlete. I made it to the Big Ten. I'm going pro. What does life after all of this kind of look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is the main reason why I'm in college, is because being an athlete. Like, I have dreams and aspirations of making the Olympics, going pro, signing with Nike, having all these endorsement deals. Like, yes, that sounds awesome. But a really cool thing my parents have engraved into me is setting up your life for after sports. And also a big one is why I came to the University of Nebraska was what happened. My mom always asked me this, is like, if you had a career-ending injury, would you still be happy where you are? And I would say 100% yes. Like, I love Nebraska. I love Lincoln. So that for sure. And just setting up life after school, I think being in a leadership role is looks good on a resume as well. But just kind of meeting people, and like your network is your net worth type thing of like meeting people, knowing their stories, and actually like making meaningful connections with whoever you meet, I think is really cool. So that's really big for me. And
I love that.
Yeah. And then one day we'll see where this all goes.
I love that. Has there been a kind of a crowning moment that is like your peak signature Nebraska story that you tell everybody? Like when you go back home and people from your area have to be like, bro, you're in Nebraska. Like what is even there? Do you have this, like, this is what I do, or this is what Nebraska is? Do you have one of those stories?
Probably the first football game I went to of, like, I'm on campus, like it's cool. Like I remember driving here from California. We stopped in Denver, and then the next day we drove Denver to here. And I meeting my dad. We're making a joke. It's like, it felt like we were driving in a circle.
Yeah.
Just like round and round, just cornfields, more cornfields and more cornfields. And I'm like, what is out here? Like, this is crazy. But then that first football game hits, and like we were down in the bottoms at a teammate's house, and there's thousands of people walking by. You get in the stadium, there's 86,000, 90,000 fans there. There's 50,000 more fans outside the stadium. I'm like, this is insane.
Right.
Like, that's my Nebraska moment, is like, wow, this is crazy. The
whole experience was just disruptive for you.
Yes. Like crazy. I'm like, wow, this is Lincoln, Nebraska.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. What, as someone who's been here for 3 years, now you're kind of a senior, are you a senior now?
Yep.
So you're probably finding yourself in some more of that mentorship role and kind of a leadership role. What's some advice or some things that you're telling young athletes out there, especially like young throwers or coaches of young throwers who want to kind of end up in your seat and in the same space that you're at?
Yeah. So a big one has been, we have these two freshmen. So I've taken on we joke around of like a fatherly role to my two new freshmen, and they're both from, they're both international. One's from Germany, one's from South Africa.
Okay.
So they don't know a lot just about how the culture here is, and just being a college athlete is demanding in its own, but coming from another country is insane. So understanding that, like, they just don't know things. They don't know that they need to show up to practice 30 minutes early. They don't know that they have to be at weights 30 minutes early, or they don't know how to go and fuel, or certain things like this. So just really being really patient with them has been a big one I've been learning. Cause I was like, at the beginning of the school year, I was like, I was like, all right, I told you guys once, now you should know it.
Right.
Or just like guessing, I was like, oh, this is common sense. I was like, oh, but they're coming from a different place. They don't know these things. So just being patient is the biggest one. Learning how to be patient with them, and just teaching them, taking them under my wing, and just trying to lead them, but also of teaching them and being like, hey, now you know how to do it. Like, maybe try and lead me. So a lot of things is like, we have like specialized warm-ups that we have to do. And I taught them the warm-up for the first week, and I was like, all right, now you take me through it.
Love that.
You can take me through it. You know it. Now you teach me. So just like, I feel like learning, the best way to learn is like to actually do it.
Absolutely.
So that's been a big one of like having them teach me how to do certain things, of like when we're at practice, we have certain things we have to do every single day. When we're in the weight room, we have certain things we have to do every day. So just having them kind of lead me through it. And I was like, all right, you guys understand it. Now you can do it on your own.
Love that. Love that. Yeah. You talk about, patience. And so every coach, as you learn, has to have an immense amount of patience. And so I can only imagine the coaches that I had in my life and the amount of patience that they had to have for a guy like me. And so I want to know out there, and I have a really fun story, and we've got someone we're going to call here in a second. And so, but I want to know if you have ever been a part of a Cinderella run? Austin, have you ever been a part of a Cinderella run? You ever seen one of those? Well, I have, and we are going to call my high school basketball coach. We're going to dial this dude up real quick. This is Coach Bruce Vyers from Chase County High School, and the question out there is, have you ever been a part of a Cinderella run? Have you ever been a part of one of those Cinderella runs?
I have been, yeah.
They're incredible.
They're pretty cool.
Tell me about your Cinderella run.
So my Cinderella one was a long time ago. I was about maybe 10 or 11 years old.
Yep.
Playing Pop Warner football. Every team got to make the playoffs, which was cool. We were the worst team in the playoffs. We won, I think, 1 or 2 games in the regular season. We were like 2-7.
Yep.
And somehow we went all the way through the playoffs and won the whole thing.
Love it.
And we had, I think it was 28 guys on our team.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe
barely enough. Yeah, barely enough.
Barely enough to field like almost all of us were, and it's like we're 11, so it's like half of them have never played before, and so we were like, me and a lot of my some of my best friends were on that team.
Yep.
That I'm still talked to this day. We were playing both ways of running back, defensive end, linebacker, offensive lineman. Like everyone's doing everything. You got to do everything on that team. And somehow we ended up winning the whole thing. We beat like 4 teams in a row. All teams we lost to got murdered by in the regular season. That's my Cinderella moment.
Cinderella run.
Pop Warner 10U football.
I love it. Well, we're gonna call my coach. Is he on? We're gonna give him a call here. All right, we're calling up Coach. This is the best part of the show right here. All right, we're calling out. We're looking for Coach Bruce Vyers. Bruce, are you on the line?
I am, yes.
Coach Vyers, this is Mike Smith. I know you know who this is. Coach, how are we doing today?
I'm well, thank you.
Coach, where are you at right now?
Well, I'm in South Mississippi in a town called Pass Christian. It's near Gulfport, Biloxi. It's about 5 miles in from the Gulf.
Wow.
So
a long ways from Lincoln, Nebraska.
And it's hot.
And it's hot. Yes, yes. So this is and this is probably going to date me because you weren't even alive yet. Austin, were you alive in 2001?
Yes, sir. Just barely.
How old were you?
I was 3.
3. So in 2001, Coach Vyers is my basketball coach, and we're out in Chase County, so western Nebraska. And I doubt we're ranked at this point. And we're coming through the western Nebraska sort of playoffs, basketball, and C1. And Mitchell is like number 2 in the state. Vyers, had they lost a game when we ran into them in the finals, in district finals?
I don't remember that they had. I think they were undefeated.
I think so too. And I think this was the year before the wild card too.
Oh yes, you had to qualify. If you'd lost, you were out.
And that was it. And so we go rolling into this. And if you know how it is in western Nebraska, you're playing these games hours away from home. So we go rolling into Chapel. Bleachers are all on one side. It's packed. The gym's there. Mitchell's really good. We're this kind of underdog ragtag story. And Bruce, how many years had it been since Imperial had been to state at that point?
As I remember, it was like 25. It's been 25 years since they'd been to the state basketball tournament.
So you're talking about a drought that, your parents and the kids that had now come through school hadn't been there in a long time. We'd seen it. And so we end up playing against Mitchell. We get there in the finals. We're running like a 1-3-1 half court trap because we weren't probably good enough to keep up with the man-to-man. And it was one of those sort of miraculous moments where I'll never forget 2 plays. And I was kind of texting with some teammates about this today. We had this stud of a sophomore kid who was like 6'4", but he could high jump like 6'9", jump out of the gym kind of kid. And right at the end of the game, he has a chance to go kind of like put a layup up to put the game away, and he tried to dunk it and missed. Do you remember that, Bruce? Do you remember Ed's dunk?
I do.
Tell me what's running through your head as we're about to have the biggest upset in school history. And
well, as he comes down the lane and you're sitting there on the bench, you can tell that he's going to try and stuff it. And he'd done it before. And I'm thinking, there's nobody between him and the basket. I'm just saying, just lay it up. Don't dunk it. And he missed it. So anyway, it went careening off of the rim and he missed it. And a little bit later, he was on the bench sitting beside me and he says, I'm never going to try and dunk it again. I'm never going to try. Well, he was a sophomore and he went on the next 2 years to dunk a lot of them.
He dunked it a lot. He did. And the coolest part about that story is he got redemption because his name's Ed Kaiser, and Ed's probably out there listening, hopefully. But Ed ended up, I believe it was 3 seconds left. We were either tied or down 1. And Ed went on to hit a couple free throws that sent us to the state tournament for the first time in 25 years. And Austin, here is my trivia question for you, Coach. I know you know the answer to this, but Austin, who do you imagine the leading scorer for Mitchell was in 2001?
Ooh.
You know the name.
I'm sure I do. Mitchell.
Do you need a clue?
Would not turn it down.
You want a clue that he ended up being an NCAA exceptional golfer for either Arizona or Arizona State?
Think maybe went on to win a PGA event sometime like 2019.
Yeah. I can picture the guy. I can picture him.
Nate Lashley.
There it is.
So Nate Lashley. Nate, if you're listening, call into the station. Hit that call line. We'd love to talk to you. But Bruce Vyers, you were. I know that there's a lot of folks. There's a text line out there that you can hit in and let us know. Hopefully, people are listening in. But Bruce Vyers, you were an incredibly influential coach to not just me, but I know you coached a lot of girls sports. You coached a lot of young men. There's a lot of folks out there that look up to you, and you were a father figure to many of us. And so, Coach, I just want to say thank you so much for the influence you were in my life. I remember being a sophomore. And this is something that's way dates me, but back in the day, if you ever got bad grades, Cade, this wasn't you. But I remember they would mail home your deficiency slips. In Imperial, you don't have mailboxes. There's a post office. So I was a sophomore and I stole our mailbox key so I could go home and steal all the slips out of the mailbox. But I forgot to put the key back. So my dad came to practice looking for the key. And then Bruce and my dad and I had a long conversation in the training room about grades and academics and how to stay academically eligible. And it was a very transformational conversation that I had. And Bruce, I blame all of my success in life on you and the coaching I got in high school. I want you to know that.
I want to tell one more story about the game in Chapel.
Fire away.
After Kaiser made the 2 free throws and we were ahead by 1, I don't know, there was maybe 5-6 seconds left in the game. And Mitchell called timeout. So we're there. We work out this great defense that we're going to do to make sure we don't foul. We guard Lashley because we figure he's the one that's going to shoot the ball. We go out on the floor, and everybody's in the right place but you.
Of course.
Do you remember that?
Of course not. No. I
look out on the floor, and we played a zone a lot of the time, but you decided you could handle Lashley one-on-one. You were nose to nose with him with your back to the ball and looking at him right in his face and followed him down the floor. And he did get the ball, but he threw up a half court and missed. So you took it upon yourself to take him one-on-one.
That was probably the greatest basketball moment of my entire life right there. It was that one defensive stop. That's it. That's all I've got. Well,
before we let Coach go, we got a couple things from the text line here. So Kathy Weir says, Coach Vyers was my basketball coach in high school. I went on to play at Kearney State for 4 years, and Coach Vyers was the best coach I ever had. I owe a lot of my basketball success to him. And then White Sharpie on the text line says, Mr. Vyers was a great teacher and coach.
Love that. Now, Kathy Weir, Coach, Kathy went on. She had a pretty exceptional career, correct?
She's on the Hall of Fame at the University of Nebraska at Kearney.
Wow.
At the time, she was a leading scorer when she graduated from Kearney College at the time.
Well, that's incredible. Coach, you have a lasting legacy. You've impacted so many of us from so many generations. And I know that I speak for many of us out in the Chase County area that I just want to say thank you so much for being a positive, disruptive force in our life. We appreciate you a ton, Coach. Thank you so much for all the work you did for us.
Oh, thank you for thinking of me.
Oh, of course. We appreciate you a ton. Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks, Coach. We're going to take a break. You are listening to 93.7 The Ticket. This is your weekly Disrupt. I'm Mike Smith live, and we'll be back shortly.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O, sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
The disruption continues now on 93.7 The Ticket. This is your weekly Disrupt with Mike Smith Live.
What up, Lincoln? It's drive time in the capital city, and you are listening to your weekly Disrupt on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Mike Smith, live in the studio with Cade Moran and my boy Luke from the mill.
How's it going, guys?
Luke, what do we got brewing today, brother?
Oh, man. Well, yesterday I woke up and I'm getting ready to go outside. I get my shorts, I get my T-shirt, and I walk outside, and it's 48 degrees. And I thought, wow, that came suddenly. It's time for something that is a very cold weather kind of drink. So today, inspired by that, one of my favorite long-standing drinks at the mill we have today. We'll pass that over to you, Cade. Pass that down.
Thanks, bro. Yeah.
The Moto Mocha. This is a Mexican chocolate mocha with ground cinnamon and ground peanuts in it. If you're allergic to peanuts, please do not try this.
We do not have an EpiPen.
We're good.
Alrighty, with a little bit of shot of caramel, salted caramel in it,
Wow.
in order to just give it that little something at the end.
I know that if you're in the car right now and you're on your way home, the only advice I can give you is immediately turn into a mill and go purchase one of these. What do we call this? A Moto Mocha?
The Moto Mocha.
Wow, Moto Mocha. This might be my new favorite warm beverage.
It is perfect for this kind of weather.
Yep.
It has been a long-standing drink of mine. Actually, it was the first drink I ever had at the mill when I was 14 years old.
14 years old. That's incredible. That is incredible. Luke, you've been with the mill for, you told me 10 years a little bit earlier, right? Can you give a quick, like, you said something interesting about the mill I don't think most folks know, but hit us with this little mill fact.
Yes, I have been involved with mill in one way or another for on and off over the last 10 years. A fun fact about the mill is it was founded 50 years ago. And if you go onto Wikipedia and you look at when Starbucks was founded, Starbucks is only 1 year older than the mill. The mill was is the longest running coffee shop in the Midwest. Kind of created the coffee shop culture around here. The traditional Italian espresso style coffee shop, quick drinks, espresso based. It kind of set the trend for coffee shops in and around Lincoln, the Midwest, even.
That's incredible. Well, we are down here on 11th and O, the mill on 11th. It's connected to 93.7 The Ticket. You got to stop in. You got to check us out. Luke's down here. How many days a week you down here, Luke?
Oh, I'm here a good 5 days a week. Odds are you are going to find me if you walk in the door.
There it is. We'll come down, grab a cup of coffee from Luke. Tell him Mike sent you. We're drinking Moto. What is it called?
Moto Mocha.
Moto Mocha at the mill on 11th and O. Cheers, boys. Moto Mocha. This one's a good one. This one's definitely a good one. All right. Every time we hop in on this show, we want to talk to people who have been disruptive. And Cade, you've got a real, true disruptor in your life, someone who's made a big difference to you, been a big deal. And so we're going to call him up. We've got someone out there. We're going to call him up on the phone, and we're going to have this conversation about being impactful and disruptive.
Coach Ham, what's up?
What's up?
What's up? This is Cade. How are you?
Good, Cade. How are you, sir?
Doing amazing.
Coach, my name is Mike Smith, and you are actually live on 93.7 The Ticket here in Lincoln, Nebraska. This is Lincoln Sports Talk Radio, Coach, and this show is called Your Weekly Disrupt. And the reason that we called you was we asked Cade and said, hey, was there a coach or a person or someone, a mentor in your life who was disruptive in a good way, was someone who pushed you through tough times, meant a lot to you, and he had a lot of really fun stories. And so I'm going to let Cade kind of tee up who you are and what you mean to him. But Coach, we're calling you today to say thank you for being a disruptive, positive force in Cade's life. And you're live here on the radio today in Lincoln.
All right, I'll introduce you, Coach Ham, for a second. Coach Ham was my linebacker coach in high school. Always positive, always amazing. And Coach, I don't know if you remember it or not, but just give us a rundown of my senior season and how that went and how many games we may or may not have won.
We won 0, and it was probably one of the hardest seasons I've ever had as a coach, because you want the players to experience a win, but you want them to get something from the hard work they put in each week. And so I always wanted those kids to get the joy of a victory, and unfortunately, it did not happen. So I felt like that whole season I let them down because I was his linebacker coach. I was the defensive coordinator, and I was also the assistant principal. So I felt like if I would have put more time in, I would have helped the kids get a win. But more importantly, I didn't want to let the kids know about my disappointment. So I wanted to teach them as a learning lesson that every day and every way you got to get a little better.
I love that. I love that. Sometimes we learn more from those losses than the W's, and it's almost hard to remember the wins.
I learned a lot from the losses.
Learned a lot that year. Learned a ton.
I believe it. I believe it. And so, Coach, you coming through that, what was some of the messages that you would tell players, or how did you keep morale up, or what were some of the things that you would do to kind of keep the guys moving?
I think Cade knew this. I just brought a ton of energy. No matter how tired I was at the end of the day, I knew that it was tougher for them to go through a day, listen to the kids verbal, why do you play football? Why are you out there if you're just going to lose? So I wanted to make them that this is just like life. You're not always going to get the results you want, but if you keep striving, you'll get those results. But hard work is never a bad quality. It'll get you through the toughest of times.
I love that. I love that.
Coach Ham was great. I always remember every day he would always be a little late to practice because he was assistant principal, had his duties, but we'd start practice right after school and he'd always be a little late. But you would always hear him running down into the stadium, screaming, throwing his arms in the air. Could hear him from a mile away, but he always brought the energy, which was amazing, especially when everyone's a little down, especially later in the year. We still didn't win a game. It was a little tough, but he was always there for us. And I think the biggest thing was he always had our backs. If we ever made a mistake or if we ever fell a little short, he always would raise the hand for us and take it on him. And he was always awesome with that, especially with our head coach. Sometimes we get a little angry at us, and Coach Ham would always say it was on his fault, not ours. So he was awesome for that.
You can love that. You can hear it in the way that he's talking even right now, because it'd be really easy to throw their offensive coordinator under the bus to be like, man, if we just scored more touchdowns, we'd have won more games back then. But no, Coach, it's great to hear that you're able to keep morale and those things going. And so, what's kind of a life lesson you've taken from Coach, or some of the things that you've sort of pulled from him into your new Division I sort of world of athletics?
Yeah, showing up, just being grateful for every day, no matter what situation you're in or where you're at. Like just being grateful, especially being an athlete, being able to compete. I think competing is one of the greatest things you can do on earth, and being grateful that you can compete every day. And also with your teammates. I think a big thing for Coach Ham and us was I'm still really close friends with a lot of the kids that were on the defense that year, even though I don't think any of them really played college sports or anything, but we just had a great, I think the craziest thing was, I think my senior year was the best culture of a defense we've had in my 4 years of high school. And we didn't win a single game, but the culture was awesome. Me and my brother, we still talk reminisce on memories we had of games or meetings and all this stuff. I never had more fun playing football, losing 10 games in a year.
Wow.
So.
That's awesome. Coach, what does it mean to you to have a player who goes on to have a successful college career and has big aspirations to kind of call and say, hey, this was really meaningful to us, even though we weren't very good, it was really meaningful to us. How does that make you feel?
It's why I got into education and then into teaching and coaching and eventually admin. I mostly coached not for to be with Cade, because I was able to meet him after his freshman year when I came back to the school. So it's really neat, because those are the things that I did when I was a kid. I didn't have that great of a high school career, but I carried that work ethic into college and eventually into my teaching career. And I just wanted to carry that on to the kids. And that's what you hope you instill in them. And to be honest, it's great because Cade and I still stay in touch. So it's really neat to have those relationships, because it's why I got into education. There's
nothing like a bond between a player and a coach. It's just there's nothing that you can kind of even use to describe it.
You can't.
It's different than family, even in some ways. You go through these things together. You go through these tough losses or these triumphant moments, and you have each other's backs. And so, Coach, what a special thing. Thank you so much for just the influence you were. We've got a heck of a young man over here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and you're definitely a big part of that. You're a big part of that, Coach. And so, Cade, anything you want to say to him?
Thank you, Coach. You've been a huge influence on me, especially in the time of high school, and just grown me into the man I am today. So I appreciate you, Coach.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Cade. It's an honor.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. All right. Awesome. That was Coach Ham.
Coach Ham.
Coach Ham. Yeah. Wow. That's wonderful. And so awesome. And so sometimes in life, our coaches, they're not always paid actors. They're not always, they're not always a principals, a superintendent, or somebody who grew up playing. Sometimes the best influence and coach that we have in life is a parent. It really can be a parent. And sometimes there's nothing like just a mom, just a good old fashioned mom out there to take care of you. So we're gonna call your mom. We're gonna ring up Cade's mom right now, and we're gonna see. We're gonna have this conversation.
Mama.
Hi, Kato.
What's up, Mom?
What are you doing?
Aaron, this is Mike Smith. You are you are live on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Lincoln Sports Talk Radio, and the show is called Your Weekly Disrupt. And I'm sitting in here with your son. And the premise of the show was that we were going to call people who are disruptive in our lives in a good way, people who were meaningful, people who were impactful, people who challenged us and pushed us. And so we had Coach Ham on just before this, and we got a little bit of an opportunity to talk about the defeated senior season in football and some of the life lessons.
She knows a lot about that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Some of the life lessons.
Aw.
But before the show started, I was like, so who was really impactful? And, how did you get into student leadership? And he starts telling me, oh, my mom was an ASB activities director. And I was like, oh, I bet I know who his mom is. I bet there's a good chance our paths have crossed somewhere out in the
Yes,
world.
they have. Yes, they have.
That is awesome. Well, Cade, tell us why we're talking to your mom right now.
Yep. So my mom is probably the biggest, one of the two biggest, her and my dad, influences in my life, just since I was a kid, of instilling the person I am today. I can give credit for me being an athlete, yes, to my parents, because they did pay for a lot of stuff growing up and getting me there. But I've had amazing coaches. But to the person I am today, which I know my mom prides herself on this, but just being in leadership, of being the vice president of SAC, a team captain, just being super involved in the community, of community outreach and stuff, has all been because of my mom, of her being an activities director before, just growing up in the leadership world, and seeing how much of an impact she's had on other people, her students, her coworkers, just anybody she's around she has a positive impact on. And I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it from all my friends, how they talk about my mom. I remember a story is I met a kid, when maybe it was my senior year. I went back for like a New Year's party when I was back home, and there was a kid there, and he was talking. He's like, "Is your mom Miss Moran?" I was like, yeah, that's my mom. She's like, and he was telling me, he's like, well, she was my freshman biology teacher. And he ended up telling me that he ended up getting kicked out of school because of grades. And he goes, your mom is the only teacher that ever truly cared about me.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. And like, it was from that moment on, I was like, man, my mom has a huge impact on other people, not only me, but other people. So she's the best mom in the world.
Wow, I love that. Mom.
Aww, thanks, Cade. I love you.
You got to love hearing that. So, Mom, we've got an incredible leader and student athlete up here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and there's no question that you're a huge part of that. What advice would you have out there to any mom who's got a junior or senior in high school and their kids are saying, Mom, I want to play Division I sports and I want to go do these things, and you've kind of been through the ringer with this and seen how it goes. What advice would you have for those families?
I would just say to follow their heart and to work hard. I think that's the biggest thing, is when you work hard when no one's watching outside of the typical practice. And for parents, I would just say, just provide all the opportunities you can for them, and they will work it out, whether that's D1, D2. I mean, playing at the next level is a huge accomplishment. It doesn't matter what division it is. Absolutely.
I played like NCCAA. We threw an extra C. There's like Division 12 is what I like to make the joke. So
which is amazing. Not very many people play at the next level.
Totally. My college doesn't exist anymore, and so I don't know if I can really count it, but I count it on here. And so, Cade, what a lot of leadership lessons come from playing sports and winning and losing and those things, but the student leadership, like as a role and as a thing, isn't always like the coolest thing to do. Like it's not always the popular choice to make. It's not always something that everybody dies to do. And I know that's true in the ASB world as much as it is in the student leadership world. Speak a little bit to just what it means to step up, be a leader, use your voice for positive good.
Yeah, I think a big thing for me is just trying to make the kids who have unheard voices heard. So maybe the quieter kids that don't like to speak up, or maybe in the college world of athletics, of those sports teams that don't have a lot of say, who maybe are on the lower end of the sports spectrum in the world of making their voices heard, because they are people too, and they have a say in kind of everything that goes on. So in the student athlete advisory committee, we take a big responsibility of, yes, like football is this big sport and this is where we get all our money. We love our football players. We probably have some of the coolest football players in the world, down to earth kids that are amazing. We also want to take into consideration, like, how are our rifle team being treated? How's our bowling team being treated? Our track and field team, our swim and dive team, like all these teams that maybe aren't in the spotlight as much, is hearing their voices just as much as we're hearing football and volleyball. And there's no bad blood here, because we probably have some of the coolest student athletes all around the board.
Sure.
Just making sure everyone's voice is heard.
Love that.
And I think my mom has taught me this a lot, of just like listening to everybody and always be learning, always be listening to everybody and what everyone has to say, and just always take into consideration what different people where they're coming from and why.
Gotta love that. Mama Moran, you've done a fantastic job. raising an amazing young man out here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And we're so grateful that you've let him spend some time with us here.
Well, we are so proud of him, and thank you for having him on today. This is really special.
Oh, absolutely. Of course. I know that there's no ASB advisor out there that doesn't have some sort of leadership nugget or some sort of disruptive thought. Leave us with something, Mama Moran, before you go.
Oh my gosh, on the spot.
Of course.
Gosh, I really just think it's the golden rule. Treat others like you want to be treated. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. Just do good in the world.
I love that. I love that. Well, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for letting us steal your son for a couple years as he makes this place better.
Oh,
we appreciate it.
We get him back. He loves Lincoln, Nebraska.
I know it. I know. San Diego, Temecula is a tough place to not move back to, though.
I know. But
It
if
is.
he's gonna be anywhere else, we love Lincoln.
Well, we love to hear that. We absolutely love to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thanks for loaning us your son and letting him make an impact on our campus.
Thanks, Mama. Love you.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Yes, we appreciate you a ton. So we're going to take another break. We'll be back here shortly. You are listening to Your Weekly Disrupt. I'm Mike Smith, and this is 93.7 The Ticket.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies and light winds, acting high around 67. Tonight, clear skies and light variable winds, below around 45. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with a light breeze, acting high near 69. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're going to keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital. Your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
The disruption continues now. This is your weekly Disrupt with Mike Smith, live on 93.7 The Ticket.
We are back in the studio. We're on 11th and O down here at 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Mike Smith, live in the studio with Cade Moran. Cade, we've got a chance to talk to one of your coaches, got a chance to talk to your mom. I'm gonna ask you a question here, but before I do, Austin, I have a little trivia thought for you that I want to see how fast your Google fingers are. This might be the Google era here, but I want to know, what is the biggest, the most unthinkable boys or girls basketball Cinderella upset? Who was that 8 seed that took down that 1 seed? I don't care what class, what division.
Oh, we're doing high school?
High school.
Cool. Okay.
High school upset. I'm talking.
You're giving me UMBC over Virginia. You're
No.
Dickinson over Purdue.
Yeah, no, I want Shadron takes down, some private Catholic school and nobody can believe it. You know what I mean? It's one of those stories unranked number 8 takes down undefeated in unlikely fashion. And while he's looking up the biggest Cinderella story that we can find in Nebraska sports, Cade, I want to ask you a question. I found
one from last year.
What do you got?
Archbishop Bergen, number 8 seed, won state last year.
I know. Is there I know. I think the hard part for me, and this is maybe the Western Nebraska in me, what's the biggest consolidated non-Catholic school, public school that went and rode the thing and just couldn't believe it?
Okay, hold that thought.
I'm holding it. All right. Yeah. And if you're listening in right now and you were a part of the biggest Cinderella story, or your team was on one of the biggest upsets of all time, please comment in and let us know so we can shout you out. But we're looking for the biggest basketball high school Cinderella story, boys and girls. So, Cade, I got a question for you.
Sir.
You've had coaches all levels at this point, right? You'd argue some of the best coaches there are.
Oh, yeah.
Coaches always have these phrases, these one-liners, these slogans that they get passed down from year after year that sort of just ring true to us. One that was, for me, was how you do some things is how you do everything. And so it was even down to sprints or drills that don't matter or post drills when you're a guard, things like that. And it was put it all in there, put it all out on the line. Yeah. What do you got? What's a coaching phrase or something that stuck with you these years?
Yeah, there's 2. Is what are you doing when no one's looking? And just what are you doing when no one's looking? Are you putting in the work and doing that, or are you slacking off? Especially even in practice, what are you doing when no one's looking? When you're doing your EDD drills, or you're you're sitting on the sideline waiting to go in. Are you actually watching, or are you just goofing off on the sideline?
Yep.
And then the next one is 100%, which is positivity. Positivity of how are you showing up every day? We talk about controlling the controllables. This falls under of you're showing up every day with a positive attitude, no matter what's going on. And you kind of just leave everything outside of practice. You step into practice, it's this own little dome, this own little world you live in. Is you're in practice. You don't have to worry about how school's going. You don't have to worry about how life outside of practice is going. You're there. You're focused on one thing. You just kind of focus there.
Yep.
And you come in there with a positive attitude is a big one. Is because when you don't have a positive attitude, your teammates notice, your coaches notice, and it kind of brings down everything. So when you show up with a positive attitude, maybe you help that teammate who's not having that good of a day. Just kind of feeding off each other, but positivity, number one thing.
And I think that's true no matter what team you're on.
Oh, yeah.
Even at post sports, when you get into the workforce, you start to, how are you working when no one's looking? How are you positive? Are you showing up positively to work
100%.
Every day, or showing up positively to your family every day?
Yep.
And so those are words that I think we can all live by. Is what are we doing when no one's looking, and how do we show up positively every day. I think those are both great words. Both great words. Austin, you got anything for us?
Okay. So 2015 in D2, Exeter Milligan had 7 losses on the year. He beat Bancroft Rosalie, handed them their 2nd loss of the year in double overtime to win the state title.
State title in double OT.
In double OT in 2015.
That's exciting.
2007 in C2, I believe it was. Maybe C1. Must have been C1. 2007. We had Ainsworth and Shadron, but Ainsworth was 24-1. Shadron was 18-8.
Oh wow, and Shadron beat him.
And no, Ainsworth ended up winning that one.
Got you.
But still small school. Of course, Winnebago had its run.
They did.
They're back in the day. Other than that, I still think I just go back to the 8-seed Bergen last year.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one. No, that's always fun. We're always looking for those Cinderella runs. That's the reason that those are the reason to show up to March Madness and those kind of basketballs. There's nothing like it. There's
Reminds
just
me
nothing.
of like Loyola Chicago.
Yes.
A couple years ago.
Yep.
They made it to Final Four.
Yeah.
And that was sick.
That's always
That
the
was
best.
sick.
Oh yeah, being a part of a Cinderella run, it's an incredible story. We're out here in the
Are you a UCSD guy? UC San Diego? With their run last year?
In basketball.
Yeah.
I'm not actually. So my little brother plays baseball at University of San Diego. So
Okay. You're a Toreros guy.
I'm a Toreros guy.
Fair enough.
So not as much, but we were rooting for we're more like San Diego State basketball is where we'll get after them. But
gotta love that.
So it was fun when they made the national championship game like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough.
That's one of those Cinderella stories where we were all rooting for them.
Yeah.
We were all pulling that way.
Well, that Cinderella story knocked off the Florida Atlantic Cinderella story.
Yes, they did in the Final Four.
Big
On the
nasty
buzzer-
San Diego State.
on a buzzer beater and against Florida Atlantic, and then ran into Juggernaut. Yeah.
As it goes and as March Madness goes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Cade, you got any final words for us? Anything you want to leave our listeners with?
Man, just have fun. Like, I just love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, I don't know, maybe change what you're doing, but try and have fun with everything you do. And then a big one is control the controllables.
Love that.
Yeah.
Have fun. If you're not having fun, you enter that transfer portal.
Yep. And get out of there.
You get out of there.
Go to Lincoln, Nebraska.
You hit that
That's where you
transfer
go.
portal of life and you make your way out here
Yes,
to
sir.
Lincoln, Nebraska. That's it for today. Thanks for joining us during your drive time. I'm Mike Smith. We are live here on 11th and O. This is 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to your weekly Disrupt. As always, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next time.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.